Hey everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast with your handicapped host, James Cox, where we fight depression with the power of music. I'm here with my co-host, Paul Christianson, who has a band called Pathos Logos. Check him out. All right, so now today we have a very exciting interview today again. I interviewed him 2 years ago. It's Mr. John Bush of Armored Saint. How you doing, John?
What's up there, brother? How
All
you doing?
right, man. Yeah, yeah, because we were just talking, and I don't expect you to remember me at all, because you say you have like a lot of people you have to talk to per day, so it's totally understandable.
Well, here we are again to chat. So thank you for
Yes,
having me on
sir.
the show.
No, I appreciate you taking the busy time out of your day to even talk to me. Yeah, this is gonna be great.
I
Yeah,
like to talk.
yes, sir. I'm good because I like to ask questions.
Okay, good.
So, um, so we talked about your whole career last time. This time we want to focus on Armored Saint now and your new band, Category 7, which is a killer band, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You have some amazing members with you, playing with you. And
Yeah,
but first I want to focus on Armored Saint, if you will.
yeah,
So,
sure.
cool. So I read that Revelation and La Raza are being reissued pretty soon, next month, matter of fact.
Yeah.
So what was the interesting factor to reissue these two albums as opposed to your all your other albums?
I don't really have the answer to that. Maybe just to kind of bring them back to the public's attention. I don't know if there's. I know we're gonna. There's Metal Blade always does a really, really awesome job of all packaging, and
Yeah,
there's gonna it's gonna feature some new stuff on it. Some probably some other parts of the packaging that would be really cool. And those records are, well, Revelation came out in 2000, so it's like 24 years old now, and Raza was
yeah,
in 2010. So that's 14 years old. So it's cool to bring them back to the public's eye. I love those records. I think they're
yeah.
both great, real
Dude.
different from one another. It's funny because I've been singing to a lot of these songs because I've been prepping for this European tour. And anytime I do that, I kind of just go through the whole catalog of stuff and just try to
Mhm.
get my voice kind of in shape, if you will. And I love singing all those songs actually from both those records. There's some
Nice.
really cool material on it. So
Yeah.
I've been listening to those albums lately.
Right. Yeah. I bet, dude, you were making me feel old when you said 14 years ago. I mean, I'm 44, and I don't think I'm considered old, but I feel old. And Paul says that he's still 32. You know.
And I'll be 32 next year as well.
Nice,
There you
nice.
go.
If you're
Yeah.
32 next year, and I'll be 61 next month, so he's almost half my age, which is it's well, that's is what
Well,
it is. But sometimes I feel 32.
yeah.
And
Happy almost your birthday.
all right,
Yes,
thank you
sir.
very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Thank you.
Well, the saying is you're as only old as you feel. And I
This is
feel like
true.
you feel like you're 20 something because you're getting up there on stage and just killing it. From beginning to end. I mean, you're destroying all these younger bands out there.
Wow. I don't know if that's, just if that's my ambition, but yeah, it's always good to just keep working hard and you might as well just keep going. That's my mentality until you can't anymore. So
Right.
luckily enough, Armored Saint has a lot of energy as a band, and when we perform live, and there's still a lot we have to offer out there in the world of music and heavy metal. So we're just going to keep it going, and it's fun.
There you go. There you go. So I have a friend named Tim, and he wanted me to ask you, um, when is your next Armor Saint album coming out? But I did see on Apple Music, and on YouTube that your single "One Chain Don't Make You No Prison" is released. So is that a hint that a new Armor Saint record is coming?
Well, we're writing songs right now for
Okay.
it. We've written probably in the neighborhood of about 5 or 6 songs, and that's still a long ways to go. I am pleased with the way the material's coming out. It sounds a little different from the last couple records, and the last couple records were awesome. Went hands down, and Punch in the Sky. They're great, you know. But it's always good to kind of just keep growing and evolving, and you know, and that's kind of rest on the laurels of what we did, and just keep pushing ourselves. That's what Armin's saying. We kind of feel like we can do anything really for the most part when it comes to music, and so that's what we're doing. We have to kind of step it up because if we want to get a record out by 2025, we need to keep moving here. But it's hard sometimes when you're on the road. And we just finished a tour about a month back or so with Queensryche, and we were out for 8 weeks, and now we're going to Europe in a week to tour for a month. And I just find it's kind of difficult to write on the road, and just never really was able to do that productively. I mean, this last tour, I didn't even want to listen to music other than when we were performing, let alone writing. But when we're home, we need to kind of focus and try to do that, which we've been doing. So yeah, you know, in the end, I think the goal is to get the record out next year. Nice. Realistically, it'll probably be in the later part of the year, but that's the goal.
Well, I'm sure he's gonna love doing the brand new album. I mean, he's a lover of artists in general, so I think y'all are gonna surprise him even more. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that we're still making records after all this time. You know, we started in the '80s, and here we are still being productive and really making a lot of quality, you know, hard rock music. So I'm proud of that.
Right. Nice. Paul?
Now, John, you had touched on something. You mentioned about how there's the European tour that's coming up. And you talked a little bit before about getting your voice in shape. Do you have a kind of a formal like diet or any kind of routine or behaviors that you engage in kind of to get you prepared for the rigors of a tour like that?
You know, diet is probably something I should improve on, in all honesty. But sometimes when I'm home in between, I slack off a little bit. I still work out and, you know, concentrate on wanting to look good. But as far as singing goes, I think it's just singing a lot is really the goal, is to keep your voice in shape. You know, I don't want to go. As a matter of fact, after the tour of Queensryche, I started re-singing in about 2 weeks after the tour, and I hadn't kind of really fully kind of recovered from being it up on the road. So I had to take a little break and kind of let it recover a little bit more. And then once I felt better about that, I started singing again. It's just like any other muscle. I think you just got to kind of sing frequently, like you would if you're a runner and run a lot. So, but you don't want to run if you have an injured leg. So, you know, you have to let something heal. But it's no different. I think that I think through the years, I realized that I'm a better singer the more I sing and the more I work it, you know. So that's really the main thing. You know, on the road, I try to be a little bit more conscientious about what I eat, because, you know, you sometimes have an issue with some possible reflux and drinking too much coffee. But, you know, maybe eating, you know, I try not to eat too late at night, because, you know, then you go to bed and you're digesting, you know, food that, you know, I have to, the band like gets pizzas after the gig, and I'm like, can't eat. And you're starving after you play, you know, but you can't eat it, because then if I eat that, then I try to stay upright for like 3 hours, and it's annoying. So I just almost don't even bother eating. And, you know, it's hard because you're hungry, but, you know, it's like those are the things that are probably bad for you. So I try to be a little bit more conscientious about my diet on the road. Try being the operative word here, but, you know, you're like an athlete when you're a singer, and you have to really kind of take care of yourself. So
I will tell you this though, you can never have too much coffee. I love coffee. I love coffee. You love coffee. We love coffee together, you know, which is great.
Oh no, coffee is magical, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. You know, it's no doubt. I mean, I like coffee too, but I probably should like refrain on drinking it as often as I do in the morning and stuff. But yeah, I guess it could be worse. I mean, you could drink too much booze, and that's probably a little worse than coffee, or on the same par. Actually,
yeah. And there's a lot of that happens at night as well. So
yeah, I mean, I remember a tour I did when I was in Anthrax, and we opened up for Pantera, and I mean, man, let me tell you, there was a lot of alcohol consumed on that tour, as not surprising. But then, we would I would drink a lot and then eat like Taco Bell or some other kind of fast food item and then go right to sleep. And that was like the worst thing you could possibly do for your voice. And so it probably wasn't one of my better singing performance tours, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there's a kind of a compensation there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. In retrospect, it was really a lot of fun, but I'm sure the performances might have been a little subpar.
Right. But that's moderation in moderation, right? Don't they dictate that at least sometimes?
Yeah, I mean everybody's different, everybody the way they handle their voice, where they get how they are able to perform, how they it's like any other athlete. Some people can do crazy stuff, drink all night, and then the next day wake up and sing fine. For me, I can't do that. And I don't really want to do that. I mean, my party days are really, for the most part, behind me. I mean, now I'm just the main goal is to sing well at the performance. That's really why I'm on the road. And then if you can't, it pretty much puts me in a pretty bad mood. And like I said, that's the reason I'm out there. I'm not looking to party. I've done that to death. So I just want to have a great show, and that's what the people are deserving of when they come to see me perform. And I want to sing well. Like my voice is pretty powerful and pretty strong these days, and that's really all I want to do is kick ass every night.
Nice.
Perhaps that's about the noblest goal I ever heard of, man.
And that's why I'm out there. So I might as well, I'm not out there to say how many beers I was able to consume that night.
It's true. I think thank you, John. I'll pass you back to James. Thank you for answering that question.
No problem.
Right. So, John, we are in the midst of having Category 7 album released pretty soon. With you knowing all the members in Category 7, because you got Phil Demo and you got some other major acts, major people, members with you. How did you know that these guys were the right fit to start the band with?
Well, that's a good question. Again, I've said before that you could put something on paper and think, okay, well, this is, an automatic winner based on who the people are. But in the end, you still have to kind of mesh. That's it. Being in a band, everybody's got to find their place. Again, I use a lot of parallels to sports because I'm a sports fan, but it's like a team. You can go, oh, this guy, look at all these guys on this team. They're going to be amazing, but you still have to be able to work together cohesively, and that doesn't always work, So I think it's about everybody knowing their role, everybody being okay with their role, everybody just having the same kind of openness to being compromising on things, just working together like any other business would be. Everybody has to kind of work together, and if egos get in the way, that could be detrimental. I mean, look, how many bands have broken up through the years because people don't work together well, or don't anymore. So I think that's really an important aspect of it. We are still kind of really in the embryonic stages of this because we haven't even rehearsed yet. So we actually made the record in different stages, which is how a lot of records are made these days. Everybody kind of did it separately. Again, that's how a lot of records are made these days, so that's not that unusual. But getting together and performing live, that will be another challenge, which we don't have anything on the books yet. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think the good thing we got going for us is that everyone's been around the block a lot and been in different bands and are veterans. So I don't really see that being a problem. But hey, you never know.
You never know, right? And I guess with you being in this business so long, the do and what not to do when you're dealing with business with your management and everything.
Yeah, again, it's it's just about everybody finding their place and being okay with that. Everybody in a band has some contribution to make. Sometimes the roles are, some people's responsibilities are a little higher depending on the band and the circumstances. I mean, take Anthrax, for example. Charlie Benante is like the primary songwriter in the band as far as music goes. Little unusual for the drummer, but he's actually a very skilled guitar player as well. But it's a little different. Most drummers, just in the history of rock and hard rock, aren't usually the main songwriter. But that's an exception. So it's dependent on the band and how that works and whatever works for that band to make them flourish. And I think that's, like I said, not to be repetitive, but I think that's how bands are successful and how they also can be they can fail, is if those lines get blurred and people are not accepting of the roles. That to me is when things kind of go south. So.
Going back on how the formation happened, Wikipedia. Everybody gets their true facts on Wikipedia, right? But to clear it up, okay. So they said that Category 7 was put together in early 2023 as a result of members hanging out and tearing it up, and that's all they said.
Is that what Wikipedia says?
That's yeah. So I guess that's a little bit true. I mean, because you do have like times when you get together and just jam, right?
That's funny. Well, I don't think Wikipedia is always accurate.
No,
but yeah, that's funny actually. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they. I don't even know who writes that stuff. Actually, to be honest, but
see, the thing about Wikipedia is anybody can write it, which is not. Yeah.
Right, and you could actually go in there and add things to it.
Which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of false information on Category 7 in the near future. Maybe.
It has to be kind of limited at this point because we haven't done too much. So it's the information is quite limited, I would think. Still, I haven't even looked at a Wikipedia in regards to be honest, but
that's all. Really, yeah.
But it's there's a cool buzz going about the group, for various reasons, mainly because the record's really cool. Actually, it's a great album. Comes out on the 26th, and I think people are digging it. It sounds fresh, has kind of elements of old school, metal, but at the same time, it sounds modern and current. And, sounds a little different from what.
Paul here just listened to the song "In Stitches." And he learned.
Oh, In Stitches just ripped my head off, buddy.
Right, yeah.
That's a thrasher for sure.
Yeah, it's a rocking song, and it starts the record, and a lot of, and then it just keeps going from there. So I think anybody who's really into metal and powerful music should like it. I'm curious to see what the public thinks, and again, I'm digging on it, and we made 5 videos actually, and 3 are already out there for people to see. The most recent one is the song Mousetrap. So, again, it's building. Obviously, people are asking about when we're going to perform, and I don't have an answer to that yet. But in the meantime, things are they're developing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I hope you come there anywhere close to Columbia, South Carolina, because I'm dying to meet you. I'm dying to meet you, man.
Yeah, come to Colorado, man.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure the band will play some shows live. It's just about playing the correct ones and the right ones.
Right. And I know that
everything people will be happy doing. So we'll see.
Nice. So everybody that's listening, you can pick up Category 7 self-titled album on the 27th. Is that correct?
I think it's the 26th, actually.
26th. Okay, 26th. And of course, you could go to the website category7official.com. And all of the links to get in contact with them are on it. And John, we honestly do thank you for coming on, and you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want to.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. And,
yes. It's good to see you again. Yes, sir. Sir.
Thanks for the fun interview and all the support. Really appreciate it.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
And for everybody listening, always remember, when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys.